Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Baka.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
Chicken's like, stop, I'm drinking my coffee, leave me alone.
Hey, I just waved. For the people that are listening, I waved.
Yes.
Do
You gotta
audio
narrate it
descriptions
so
for the
that
whole thing.
Hold on. Do it again.
See? Oh, shit.
Stop
You
it.
almost made Griff spit out coffee.
You did. I would have been mad. Oh, man. It's going to be one of those shows. Like, we ended up having to take last weekend off because sick people and whatnot. And then we had a holiday, so we've all been, like, out of work for a couple of days. And then today. So it's just going to be weird, I bet.
And three of us are riding high from
Caffeine.
the amount of heart palpitations last night.
Oh.
By the way, I'm alive. I did
football.
not have a heart attack,
College
even though I thought
football,
I was going to.
everybody.
To be fair, I probably would have if I would not be a Lions fan. Like, let's just say I was ready for it. I
It
was
had
like, whew.
prepared you for that
Exactly.
game.
Disappointment and heart-wrenching losses was what I'm prepared for. But
we didn't
I have to
lose, so
deal
it's
with that,
okay.
so. Exactly. It's like, yeah, I'm down here where I'm used to, 99.8% loss chance, and then it just give me that 2.2%.
Hey, and the positive note on all this is the fact it's been 28 days since Auburn has won a game. I'm throw that out there.
Hallelujah.
In the South, for those of you that are new to the show, for whatever reason, don't know, we have a very strong college football culture around here, and Alabama and Auburn are like, they hate each other. And so anything that makes Auburn sad makes us happy.
I was just being sad that I was gonna have to deal with Auburn fans being excited for the next year. Like, they don't even care if they lose everything.
365 days of them having those flags hang off their vehicles and all the magnets on the side. It's so annoying.
Yes.
It's like, y'all don't show up until after this game, and then you wear 365. And then if you lose, we don't see you again until you win.
It's usually how it goes.
All right, let's talk about some video games. What's everybody been playing since we've had ample time lately?
Nothing, apparently.
Great.
Animal Crossing here and there, a little bit of Red Dead.
Only a little bit? That's like a crack.
Yeah, I log in, did my moonshine runs, did a little bit of hunting and like maybe a couple of bounty hunts, and I've been mostly just kind of with being sick.
Well, I mean, you know where we're at. If you ever wanted us to come with you, you could always just be like, hey guys, I'm going to do this thing. Y'all want to go? I'm just saying.
I like I said, I didn't even play for that long. Just like I said, the quick runs, and did a couple of kills for the hunting, and just was like, I can't keep focused on it.
Well, what about everybody? Anybody else get to focus on anything?
I got to finish Psychonauts 2.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I really enjoy the game. I see why it's up for multiple Game of the Years. It's really, really well done, balanced. There's two twists.
See, I was thinking about that. I thought of other games. Remind me to talk to you about it later. I wanted to tell you that.
Okay. There's two twists in the plot line of the game that they did really, really good job of hiding. Because a lot of times you can kind of get notes and kind of figure out where the plot line's going. They did a really good job of those twists, and I was like, those moments happened, and it was really well done. And then what I really, really like about the game is they made every single level completely unique, and they did it in such a humorous way that it made you want to continue to play the game over and over and over again, like all the different levels that were there. It might be one of those ones I'd go back to, because you can, like, when you get done, it allows you to go back into the old levels and kind of play through. Just so I can kind of 100% some of the areas now that I have all the abilities and I can go through and do those. But it was really, really fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Also, I started playing Kana, the Bridge of Spirits, which is done by Ember Labs, and Ember Labs formerly, or they might still be for all I know, were a CGI company that did stuff like Pixar does, where they create movies in CGI, but they wanted to create a video game, and it's beautiful. I'm playing it on the PS5. It's also available on PC, I believe, but it's only on Epic Store, at least currently. So, which is why I'm playing it on my PS5, because
Good choice,
I don't have
good
the
choice.
Epic Store. But it is beautiful. Like it's like it feels like you're playing in that Pixar style of game or of a movie. Plotline wise, is basically the concept is Kana is a spirit guide.
Okay.
And she has to find spirits and guide them to, I guess, the afterlife, if you will. And the battles are not necessarily easy. Like once you get into the combat, you kind of figure out different things that you can do to do better in each one of the combat. But your bosses, they suck. They're so hard.
No.
But it's fun. Like it's one of those where you go back through and you continue to play over and over again just to where you can beat that. It's a really cool concept, beautiful game. Really, really, they've got these little characters. They have a horrible name, but they're adorable. They're called the Rot.
Oh.
They look like they're little black trolls is the only thing. They look like plush dolls. And I would not be surprised if I look up online, somebody has made these into plush dolls, because I would totally buy one. But it's weird because you get money for certain things that you do. Like there's these little coins that come through, but the currency only purchases hats for these little troll dolls. And it doesn't help them out in any way whatsoever, other than just makes them look cuter.
Okay.
And there's no abilities for you to raise either with the stuff that you're like with the money. There's another currency that helps you upgrade yourself and them, but it was very strange. I was like, okay, so I've got guys with like mushroom heads, some with pots on top of their heads. I have another one with like these fox masks. If I had enough money, I would buy the fox mask for pretty much everybody, but they're like, it's like 500 coins for that, where everything else is like 10 or 20. But I really, really, really enjoyed the game. I'm interested to see where the plot line ends up. I have an idea of where it's going to go. I think it's kind of going to be predictable in that respect, but the journey there so far has been really fun, and reminds me a little bit of with the Rot characters. Kind of reminds me of Overlord, but you don't control them the same way. They're just there to kind of help you out. But I've enjoyed that so far, and then I played some Halo Infinite multiplayer, which I enjoyed, but I was playing it before I got sick. I haven't played it since I've been sick, because I didn't really feel better until probably Tuesday, I think, was when I felt halfway decent. When I didn't even have a voice last Sunday, so
I mean,
yeah,
part of why we didn't have a podcast. Told you everybody was sick.
yeah.
Like it's spreading it around.
Yes,
That's where it started.
Texas to Alabama, yes.
Plagues.
Hey, viruses are evolving. They're coming through our mics and our webcams, apparently.
And our 5G, is that what you're going with on this one, bud?
Ooh, yes. I need my 5G vaccine.
So does that make me one of the four horsemen? Estimates? I can
No,
spread it.
there
The
are
plague.
5 horsemen now, because you need the technology one, the
Oh.
techno horse.
That's funny. What y'all got?
I mean, it's technically just spreading sickness, and the computers can get basically just a virtual sickness.
Down with the virtual sickness.
No. No. You can leave now.
Now I'm gonna have that song in my head all day now. Thanks, bud.
No problem.
I finished up Cyberpunk again. I just finished it like day before yesterday. And when I play RPGs, I usually have what I think is my canon ending, and then I will branch out from there sometimes. Well, assuming that the first ending that I pick is the one that I feel like is the right one, which it was. But I tried a different one this time, and it made me feel sad. I'm still sad about it. Like, I was like, there's not going to be a game funk after a game I've already played. Like, that, the whole idea is, like, that happens after your first time through and it hits you really hard. But I picked a different ending. It turns out it hit really hard and I didn't like it. I don't like that at all. How dare you make me feel something, game? God.
Damn you, game.
Right? But yeah, I picked a different ending, and it was one of those things where it's like, hits different, but feels similar because it's still not great. Like, there's not a great ending to that game, unfortunately. Not one that's going to leave you with, like, warm fuzzies. So, I was sad. And then I was in a little bit of a game funk, and I'm like, what do I want to do? I finally went with the whole, like, because Chicken makes jokes all the time. You buy a game on the Steam sale, and then it has to sit in your library for 4 years before you can play it.
It's not just me making that joke, first of all. That is a Steam
You
rule.
made that joke yesterday to me, so it was fresh in my mind.
I read that joke, and that joke is law by Steam rules. You buy games.
That is, I believe that, actually.
Yeah.
Exactly. You buy a game on a Steam sale, you let it sit in your library for 4 years, then you remember you have it, you load it up, you play it for an hour, and then you forget about it
Well,
again.
I don't know if this has been sitting in my library for, I don't know how long it's been there. I don't know if it's been 4 years or less. But I was like, fine, I'm going to play Assassin's Creed 2. I just feel like seeing Ezio again. Do you know, and this is the thing that I learned yesterday after half an hour of figuring this shit out, that you cannot play that game on your PC with an Xbox One controller. You have to have a wired 360 controller. I'm mad.
What?
Yeah. Because, I mean, I guess it's a 360 game originally, but yeah, like, it doesn't recognize the Xbox One. You can get some files and, you know, put it in some folders and some things, and theoretically there's a workaround, but that is, like, I don't get paid enough. I'm like... Wait, hold
on. Be specific. Is your Xbox One controller wired or not?
I play with it wired. Because
okay.
I don't feel
so
like
it didn't matter that
matter
yours was wired or not.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were Bluetoothing it.
It requires a 360 controller. A wired 360 controller to play with a controller. Weird. Or else your mouse and keyboard. And I'm like, I'm not playing Assassin's Creed with mouse and keyboard. Are you insane? I'm terrible at mouse and keyboard. But I mean, like, think about that. Like, how hard it is already to get your little dude, Ezio in this case, to get unstuck from the building so that he can go to the next one. Like, there's no way that's going to work for me on mouse and keyboard. I can barely handle a controller. Like a toddler over here sometimes. So I was like, it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play this game. I bought it on a Steam sale 1,000,000 years ago. Okay, no, I'm not. So I was a little sad about that. I played some Borderlands for a little while because it's been in my brain. And I was like, I need a game that I can get into. So guess who's playing Mass Effect again? I don't have a problem. You have a problem. Shut up. Don't judge me.
No.
We'll be okay. What's the date? Okay, today is November the 28th. 1 year from today, we're gonna have this whole conversation like we do at the beginning of every single show about what we've been playing new, and she's gonna be like, "I'm playing Cyberpunk," or "I'm playing Mass Effect," or "I'm back in Red Dead Redemption," or something. It's gonna be a game she plays all the time.
Look, man. I wanted to play
something. The whole point of your
new.
off season to like pick games you didn't get to play during your busy season.
What do I have? What do I have that's new? Okay, come on, me really.
Hey, that's the thing. Sometimes it's hard to pick one of your games out of your library and dive into it.
I will also readily admit that, like, yes, it's nice that the winter means I have less to do, but winter is also when seasonal depression hits me, and so I'm obviously looking for something that's comfortable more than something that's new and I don't know as well. So sometimes that's why too, is it's just seasonal depression's like, you're not doing anything new. That's too much anxiety for right now. You just go back to what you know. So, you know, it's nice when your stupid brain rules your life sometimes.
To be fair, our brains rule our lives all the time. So
I will say though, for Cyberpunk having come out last year, like almost a year ago, I've put over 300 hours in to that game in a year. So
I'm so surprised.
Raise your hand if you're surprised.
It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable, okay?
Hey, I will have to say though, to all the people that bitch about that damn game, at the end of the day, I enjoyed playing through it when I played through it, and you've enjoyed 300 hours of it. So everybody that's like, I have problems, I can't play the game, it's a piece of garbage, blah blah blah. It's like, no, you're wrong.
It's actually overwhelmingly positive reviews right now on Steam because it probably because it went on sale. Yeah.
Overwhelmingly positive is probably not right.
I'm gonna go double check. I'm loading it up right now. My Steam's open, so that's how I knew how much time.
I'm not opening up.
Oh no,
Steam
it's
while I'm running
very
this stuff.
positive for recent, mostly positive for all time. Sorry, my bad. But
I'm about to say.
regardless, it's still positive at this point, which is, you know, a drastic turnaround since a year ago. Well, a little more than a year ago, but they've fixed a lot of stuff. They're doing content patches. They've said they're going to move the content patches to next year, which is fine, whatever. I mean, any of the game-breaking stuff hasn't been, like, game-breaking to the point where it stops me from progressing. It just locks me out of a couple of missions that are side stuff that I'd like to complete, but it's not hurting me to not complete it. So, but I did that. I'm still playing Dragon Age. I just posted one right before we started recording. And just, like, it literally just went up so that I could mention that it was up there on the show. So, there's a new Dragon Age on my YouTube. I would play more Dragon Age. I would like to point out in this one, though, like, this is typical me. I'm like, well, so-and-so is supposed to be leading the way, but I'm in charge now. 2 seconds later, I'm dying. This is why we don't let me be in charge. Oh, feels good, though. Feels good.
You think you've played Cyberpunk a lot? One of the guys in this on the review for Cyberpunk has played it for over 4,000 hours.
How much? I need a calculator.
I'm doing it now.
How? Okay, first of all,
Yeah, I need a
I've played
calculator.
WoW for several.
Does he leave it constantly running?
That's
in the
166 days.
Yeah.
That's 1 out of every 3 days since it was released. He's played for a full day.
That's somebody that boots it up, and because we have somebody that we know that will boot up a game and play it for like 30 minutes and then go get distracted, and it just stays up and running in the background, like the whole, like it's paused in a pause screen, so the hours keep counting. Because there's somebody on my mutuals that has like 1 billion hours and a lot of stuff, and I'm like, I know you didn't even finish that game, so.
Yeah.
But that's why. It's because they open it up, pause it, and leave it. It's just that guy does it for days on end.
It's got to be, because if you average eight hours a day, it's 500 days.
Oh my god.
So he's playing it for almost 12 hours a day, every day, since it was released.
Yeah, so he's just opening it up and leaving it sit in the background. That makes sense. That makes more sense than actually having 4,000 hours in the game. Because that's insane. I mean, I'm extreme with some of mine, but...
Well, but I mean, the game hasn't even been out for 500 days. So
no. You're definitely...
It's not even been out for 365 days.
Definitely loading up some stuff. That's and now I've got to see what my game time is. What's got my most played? It's got to be... That's got to be in my top. You think it's Tropico?
Tropico or Ark has got like 500 hours in it.
All games
still waiting.
by playtime.
Still waiting.
Ark has almost 500 hours in it.
Yeah.
Tropico has about 50 hours less than Ark. Damn. Cyberpunk is number 6. It was almost in my top 5. Surviving Mars beat it out by 6 hours. Damn.
Phasmo will win eventually.
Phasmo is at 158 hours currently.
Yep. Phasmo will win eventually.
It's like a turtle, right?
Yeah,
it's like
Phasmo's one of
race.
those games that is just going to sit there and slowly creep across the entire list until it's like, damn, how the hell do you have 35,000 hours in Phasmo? Dude, I've been playing it for 12 years. I mean, you just load it up for about 6 hours a night a few times a week, and it's just, it's just what we do. Yeah. So
What'd you do, Chicken?
I did shit.
Okay.
The previous week I played Prey. I streamed Prey all week. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I'm liking the story, where we're going. Combat's fun. In games like that, I like to be a little wild, because I play stealth. I play the stealth method whenever I'm playing off stream and I want to play slow mode. But whenever I'm on stream or streaming a game like that, I go completely 180. And as Griff and everybody else who's watched can definitely attest, It's like, oh, there's a bad guy. Time to jump from the biggest building I can find and shoot my shotgun at as I'm flying down, and then beat the shit out of him with my wrench. It's like big explosions. There's the big bad evil guy, the nemesis. Girl's like, you better watch out for him. He's dangerous.
Dude, Nightmare has gotten me so many times. Shut up.
The first time I got him, he scared the shit out of me. Second time I got him, I'm like, you know what? We're gonna do this the legit way, because it gives you a little timer to survive or kill him. I was like, these are grenades. Catch. And I just like chucked a bunch of them at him, and he dies instantly. It's like, that's how you kill bad guys.
I never thought to do that. I was like, because he killed me a couple of times. He's so strong and big. And I was like, all right, 2 minute time. Yeah, 2 minute timer that pops up. And I'm like, I'm just going to go and hide under these stairs. Like, there's that room that you first come in the Arboretum that's like a storage room. You don't know how much time I've spent literally under those scaffold stairs right there. Like, I know that room better than any room in that whole place. Thank you very much, stupid ass Nightmare. I hate you.
The way I like to think about it is like I'm a feral cat whenever I enter into a room, and if there are enemies in the room, no matter where they are at, I will hunt them down and just murder them, and then I'm good. Like, once my room is clean, then I will go ahead and explore and do the missions and whatnot. Otherwise, it's like you get just, there's something in here, and I just beeline for all the enemies to clear out the room, and then I'll work on quests. It's a lot more entertaining that way too. I enjoy that kind of style. So, depending on my mood is what I like to do.
That's funny.
I think I'm almost done with it. I've been enjoying it, and we'll probably play that through this week and finish it out by Friday, if not beforehand. And I've pretty much just casually played WoW all week. Just leveling a paladin, doing absolutely nothing, worrying about nothing. And I think that's all I've done.
What level is your pally now?
20. Almost 21. Just slowly working it up, not worrying about anything. I don't think I've played anything else.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get carried or just quest my whole way up. But yeah, other than that, babysitting and playing WoW. Pretty much and I finished the Ark House that I've been working on. I finished that at some point last week, where I'm finally done with it. It is absolutely massive, and it turned out really good. And all right, here we go. This one brings a little bit of a tear to my eye. It's truly tragic. So, when I found the place where I wanted to build our entire setup, it was this giant flat plateau which had 2 ramps that led up to this giant area that we could build on. It was huge, enough space for all of our dinos, cliffs along the backside, 2 ramps, and then a cliff along between the 2 ramps. I was like, oh, this is gorgeous. And it had 1 tree that was sitting on the edge that was huge, and it had the roots sticking out. It was gorgeous, just a beautiful scenery. And I was like, we're going to build our house right here, like right under this tree. And I went ahead, and when I first started trying to plot it out, I was making sure that the house wouldn't clip through the tree, and the tree was just this nice scene behind our house. And I built the windows so that you could see it out of the back, and it was gorgeous. And after I finished the house, I logged off. I was happy. I was like, cool. And then Griff sends me a message. She's like, you're gonna be mad. And I was like, why? And she's like, just come here. So I walked in there, and she's like, you're going to be mad. I was like, what happened? And she takes me around to the back side of the house, and my tree is gone. Because one of our mush chops, the little lizard dogs, we put them on roam so that they could just walk around the yard and clean up the herbs and whatnot. Now, I never made the connection that they actually destroy the trees and whatnot. It's not a passive gather. It is a passive gather, but they destroy the resources to get the stuff. And he made his way, because I had a blockade, a gate around the house originally, and I took that down when I redesigned the entire house. And he got behind our house, and he destroyed our tree.
Yeah. Pop ate our
Wow.
tree, so Pop is going to be going in a fence and staying there for
Yeah.
the rest of his
So
life.
I am going to build a fence where the tree was, and I'm gonna put his ass in the cage, and he will sit there for the rest of his life.
Think about what
And
he did.
he will wander around inside that cage forever.
Is the tree too close to a foundation to
Yes.
grow back?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh damn.
Yep. So,
Yep. And I'm not demoing the whole house, just the tree, so the tree could grow back. That was way too much work. He had to wait until after I was fucking done with the goddamn house. I don't care. That little asshole is gonna be put in a pen, and he will sit there for the rest of his life. So every time I look out the back wall, he's gonna be in that cage right there. Be like, what a beautiful tree.
if I
Yeah,
had
that's right, little
one.
asshole. This is where I would put my tree if he didn't eat it. Oh. So yeah, that's
Oh,
my
man.
tree's gone. The entire reason I built the whole house feature right there on that cliffside, he ate it after
Yeah.
I rebuilt the house. It couldn't have been before, so that I could remove the foundations and let it grow back. No, it had to be after I was done.
Of course it did.
Oh. But it is what it is.
The tragedy is so real.
You can't undo it.
No.
So that's pretty much what I did. I've streamed Prey, played WoW, and finished our Ark House. So, and I'm debating about what old game I want to stream next. I've got Turok on my Steam library.
Oh no.
I might play that one.
That's definitely old.
Oh
been a
yeah, for
minute.
sure. But there's also
Definitely.
another game that I've realized is on the PS4 store that you could buy. A game that has eluded me for years and years. I was denied finishing it. I was almost to the end too. Star Ocean Till the End of Time. It came out in 2003 for the PS2. I played it. It's one of those long RPGs where it's a 2-disc game. And I was on the second disc, and my dog got a hold of the discs and damaged the first one.
So basically a real life Pop situation.
Yeah, and he damaged the first disc. Now, those old school games, you have to load up the game with the first disc, and then it'll be like insert second disc when you start the save
Yep.
file. I couldn't start it up because the game wouldn't load. So I never was. I was like, the second disc is good. I can start it. It's like you put in the second
So
disc.
what-
It's like, please
So
insert
what
first
Chicken
disc.
did is he built a fence around the disc.
Yeah. And, to be fair, I still have it over there with the teeth marks and everything in it.
Why?
To
Still,
remember.
it's a haunting reminder.
Never forget.
I could buy it on the PS4 and I could play it again. Almost 20 years later, finally play it again. and
How many
finish it.
hours do you think you were in the game before that
Oh,
happened?
I was about 80 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You got to finish it now.
Yeah.
That's got to be in
I'm
there.
thinking you just gotta buy it. Like, regardless of whether you're gonna stream it right now or not, you just gotta own it, okay?
I own a good copy of it too, but you can't play backwards compatible games on the PS4 because Sony is a constant asshole.
Now, to be fair, on the 5, you can do the 4. But
Yeah,
it's because they
well.
learned their lesson with the 4.
Yeah, but you have to go to the 3 to play the 2 games, and my 3 overheats all the time.
Yeah. I don't
It's one of
even-
those things where it's like, you really want to finish that
what
game?
you're
Too
saying
bad.
is, you
I'm gonna buy it digitally, and I'm not gonna be able to lose it then, because it's gonna be attached to my account at that point. Oh God.
You want to talk
Frustrating, just a little
some
bit.
news to keep your frustration going? I figure we've got some frustrating things to just.
All right,
You
cool.
do.
Let's jump into the Blizzard news because it's all frustrating.
You
All
read
of
my
it.
mind. There's like, and this is news that was news like 2 weeks ago, but we didn't get to have a show last week, so we didn't want to like not discuss it. We're backtracking a little to things that have already been covered by everybody else. We didn't get a chance to. Screw you. Do it now. Which one do you want to start with? Because I wish there was like, okay, here's the one thing we need to talk about, but there's.
Then we'll start at the beginning, which is the first article, which is the Blizzard former co-lead Jen O'Neill.
Yeah.
We found out the reason why she quit is because she was getting paid less than her partner, and then she sent in a request to have it looked at, and it was denied, or they just kind of ignored it for a little while, and she's like, okay, this isn't going to change, nothing's going to change. So after she put in her resignation, then they're like, oh yeah, we'll take care of that, and she's like, no, it's too late. I see what you're trying to do here. You need to be more proactive with your problem solving, not reactive, which is what we're getting the feeling Blizzard is doing here. They're not doing anything until they're forced to do something. So we knew there was more to this story when she put in her resignation than what she was saying.
Yeah.
So that's why, and that brought about several other problems, of course. Let's see. Okay. Just trying to get these in order. After that whole debacle came out, which was already a problem, there was a report about our dearly lovable, punch-in-the-faceable CEO,
Yes.
Bobby Kotick, who is an asshole, and you want to punch him in the face.
Yeah. Very punchable.
Yes.
Very punchable face.
Yeah, I'll let you guys take it from there, man.
Oh. Well, I mean, basically, it came to light that he knew about, because, a few weeks ago, or I think when this started kicking off, he was like, we had no idea, we're going to make things better, and all of this. He knew, actually. He protected several people from being fired for the same kind of behavior. He just shuffled them around to another department or got rid of somebody that was complaining against them. Because that's a normal and okay thing to do from a power position. He also failed to tell the stockholders about any of that, which I mean is covering his own ass, because he thought that this would never, be a public thing. But now it is, and people want him to resign. Like, they've wanted him to resign for a very long time. But now there's more solid, we think you should resign. But the board's like, nah, we're gonna stand behind him. He's good. 'Cause he makes us lots of money. Now shut up and forget this. Like, what is going on? Y'all know we can see all of this, right? We're not gonna, forget that it happened in a few hours so that we can go out and buy the next WoW expansion that's also gonna be garbage, probably. It's just, what's happening? What is happening right now?
I can tell you exactly what's happening right now. First of all, you've got a board that's sitting there, and he just went, hey, you're going to pay me $68,000 a year to run this thing. And don't have to worry about any bonuses or anything else, because I've got plenty of money from my bonus I got earlier in the year. And they went, okay, or we could fire you and hire somebody back in for $1 million.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep you where you're at right now.
Because money. Money. I really do think that they're banking on the fact that the media cycle ends on something and people forget about it. So they're kind of hoping that they can ride this out until people have forgotten about it. And then nobody will care.
And I don't think it's people forget about it. I think people at some point go, it does no good at this point. I think that's the mentality. Once they get to, let's say, 6 months down the road, whatever that number happens to be, they go, we've tried until we're blue in the face to make a difference here, and they're not budging. So at some point, we just need to shut up because they're not going to do anything. I think that's their mentality, which is at the point where people get tired of talking about it, they'll just stop talking about it.
They can shut up about it. Just don't spend any more money with the company.
The problem is you're always going to have people spending money because your average Call of Duty player doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of your WoW players for retail don't care. Well, actually, there's a lot
and the
of
amount of parents that you have that are buying Call of Duty for their kid doesn't even know this shit's going on because they don't follow this news, and the kid doesn't care because this information they don't know. All they know is the newest Call of Duty came out. Yep. That's all they know.
That's why you got to keep slapping the water, keep causing ripples. Like even us, small little time podcast, constantly putting this news into your face. You're like, they are shitty. Blizzard is shitty. Period. Activision Blizzard, sorry, is shitty. Yep. Bobby Kotick is a terrible CEO. This thing is an across the board in multiple gaming companies, multiple businesses, regardless of what genre or whatever they're in. This is a very normal thing in society. Yeah. And the only thing that makes these people worried is money and pressure from other companies. Like in the past 6 months or in the past month, their shares have dropped $20, which is not something that the shareholders want to see. That's money falling out of their pockets. And that is definitely not something they want. In 6 months, their shares have dropped $40. If it does that again, if they have another terrible year, which 2022 is looking like, because they don't got any releases coming up, they got shit. Call of Duty is not holding enough attention to kind of push them up. Call of Duty does not bring the woo as much as it used to. It's just another Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well, and there's no new Blizz or WoW expansion on the way. I think they're probably going to push out maybe one more content patch, but even then, they've kind of already wrapped up the Shadowlands story for retail. I mean, they may try to push out. They may try to push out Wrath of the Lich King for Classic, which would bring people back because that's basically the heyday of WoW. But I don't know if it would be enough to necessarily save the whole company. And I know they've got other games. Like, Activision Blizzard is not just Call of Duty and WoW. It's a lot of other stuff as well. It's just how many things can you have be huge successes that are going to save this when your big money makers are not doing it, you know? How many of your little, smaller games do you need to make bukus of cash when your cash cows aren't bringing home the bacon? That's a lot of food stuff at one time, sorry.
That's fine. It's investment wise, it's not looking like a good idea to invest in Blizzard right now. They're definitely suffering and from the constant media whiplash. And Bobby Kotick did say that he is willing to discuss an exit if he cannot fix the problems in a hastily fashion. Which I don't know what in the world they think.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. This is not something you could slap a couple of Band-Aids on and fix, you know?
Yes, it's going to be a long-term, program-based institution, completely reforming the culture of your company. Zero tolerance. Like, everybody who has a report of this kind of harassment needs to be booted down. Like, you basically go into HR, you're like, all right, give me all the files
but considering
of
that
everybody who's filed the complaint.
That he's protected people that were doing that, his exit is part of the solution. I'll only leave if I can't fix this. You can't. You've already protected those people. You've already made these threats. Like, he threatened one of his assistants over voicemail at one point. And it's like, we have this behavior from you. You're part of the problem that needs to be fixed, and the only way to fix it is to boot your ass out the door.
The only way to fix this is that he goes to HR, he gets all the harassment suits, he fires all of those people with his own emails, then he steps down. He's like, I'm taking out all the trash, me included. We're going to leave the company in better hands because I know what I've done cannot be, like, repaired. We're going to let the company rebuild itself. Like, that's the only way to completely wipe the shit off of your face.
Part of that issue is going to end up being... So some of those people are going to get rehired at other companies, including him.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But those other companies, these shareholders don't give a fuck about those other companies. They don't care. Once those people are out of this one, they can focus on repairing this one.
But the problem you run into, too, though, that it's if they let him go and they say, okay, we're done, we've got to get you out of there or whatever, it costs them $292 million to do it.
Yeah.
They gave him $158 million bonus for whatever.
Yeah, but they'll pay him $300 million to get rid of him. Or if he steps down, he doesn't get that money, I don't think. So I think that's kind of where they're like, oh, we're confident in him because we don't want to spend $300 million. Because I don't care how much of a billion dollar company you are. $292 million hurts.
It's a lot of money.
It hurts. So they're kind of stuck in that in a between a rock and a hard place really right now. And I'm sure that there's some type of clause in there that's a moral clause. Usually there's some type of morality clause that's there, so they can prove that he violated that some way, the way it was written. Then they can get rid of him without having to pay that money. But it's just, he needs to step down because to be fair, you're right, 100%. He's going to get a job somewhere else.
Oh yes.
Because he's going to do it in a different field somewhere to where his name is never brought up again in this type of climate. But unfortunately, and until that happens, you're going to continue with these problems, and we're going to continue to get this in the news. And, a month from now, we're going to get, because this is what, like 6 articles or 5 articles that happened within a week's time. So like, and we thought we just talked about like 2-3 weeks ago on the show. We're like, okay, this has kind of calmed down a little bit. So we're going to talk about other stuff. And then we had an entire week of this shit.
I mean, we haven't even mentioned the fact that right now, the Activision Blizzard's latest thing is having a committee that's led by board members. So basically, we've investigated ourselves and found we've done nothing wrong. Like, that's basically the gist of what's happening right now and how they're deciding to lead their company. It's like, y'all haven't really been doing the greatest job of self-governance. I don't think adding this is going to help you.
To be fair, 2 of the board members are the 2 people that want Bobby Kotick out. Like, they hate him.
Yeah,
so they are not going to be... They are not going to be all, yay, this is all good. They're going to be, like, looking for anything that incriminates the shit out of him. I don't know how big the whole board is going to be. I don't think it says.
It doesn't. But I imagine it's going to be quite a bit more than, like, 5. So they don't have anywhere close to the majority. And you stack the rest of that group with people that are either indebted to Kotick or, blind loyalists. And
3.
It's really making it better. 3 people instead of 2?
Mm-hmm. Last night, Activision said its new workplace responsibility committee would be overseen by the 2 members of its board who are women, Dawn Ostroff and Roberta Bowers. Activision also said it was working to add another diverse director to the board. So I guess it's adding 3 plus the other 2. So 5 at the moment.
Yeah, I just don't. I see this going well for them.
I have no faith in them fixing it until they literally clean the whole house or burn it down. Like, at this point, with all of these articles, I have still 0 faith in them actually solving any of these problems until the people who are causing them are gone. Yep. And until that happens, go ahead, keep I can't think of the word for it. Virtue signaling all you want, because it ain't gonna earn you any brownie points.
Yeah. It's
and speaking of brownie points,
hey, I like brownies.
And because we were talking about how outside pressure is the only thing that's gonna actually make things change at Blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, the three big dogs of the gaming world have all started applying pressure to Activision Blizzard, which that right there, that will cause change, because the last thing Activision Blizzard ever wants is to be denied a console.
Yeah.
All 3 of the big bosses from Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft have all been like, yo, Activision Blizzard, we do not approve of what is going on over there, and we're going to have to reassess our partnership with what you're doing. And that right there, I guarantee, scares the shit out of them. Because if Microsoft goes, we don't really feel comfortable with your game, or we're gonna cause some problems, we're not gonna let you update, or you're gonna have to pay more payout on your updates and things like that. That they don't want that.
I think it would probably be a denial of future entries on the platform more than anything else. Which, I mean, right now, as you mentioned, it's not like they've got a whole bunch of stuff. Well, that's not true. Activision's publishing a lot, so if they cut them out as a publisher, like anything you publish is not going to be on the platform. It does hurt devs outside of just Activision.
But all 3 would have to sign something together.
They'd have to.
It can't be, because what's going to happen is if, like, Microsoft, they're turning around, they go, look, because they can't do anything about PC, but they can, but they can turn around and do something about their own console. and say, look, we're not going to keep this available for you because of the behavior that's going on there unless you do something about it. If Sony doesn't back that, Nintendo doesn't back that,
it has to
I
be.
have a strong
It's
feeling
moot.
that they would, because I mean, after Sony did their email, Microsoft was like, yeah, we feel the same, and Nintendo's like, yeah, we're not a big fan of it either. Like, I'm pretty sure those three companies are like, I don't really think we want this guy in our.
Sony has the deal
community.
right now with Call of Duty. So that's your main publisher. So I'm glad they're the first ones that came out, because they're the ones that
Yes.
are directly dealing with them. Where they used to have it, now EA has the one with Xbox. So I'm interested to see how this, pushes, how this is going to go forward, because there's nothing big that comes out on those platforms until the next Call of Duty comes out, and it's already come out. So we probably won't know anything until closer to E3, if anything actually comes to light on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of there's one way to get rid of the stupid exclusive shit that they do, the timed exclusive
There you
thing.
go.
Very true. Like, I mean, when Bowser doesn't want to be associated with you, you're the bad guy at that
Stop
point.
it. Stop
So,
it.
I mean,
Oh, man.
but yeah, like there is a ton of pressure that is starting to, like, even more pressure. It's been building over Activision Blizzard, and their shares are now down to pre-COVID levels too. Like, because their shares shot up, everybody was at home, everybody looking to play stuff. Now their shares are down below what they were before. So they are really getting hit hard by this constant wave of bad publicity. And yes, not all news is good news, or not all publicity
press.
is good publicity. Yeah, sometimes it actually hurts. This hurts.
Yeah.
They can feel it too. I
not
guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like,
We'll have to
Especially
see.
when Nintendo comes out and is like, you're an asshole.
I really think, though, they're just going to try to sit on it and ride the news cycle out till people are burnt out on it, and hope that people forget after that. I really
And it's
think
up
that...
to the media and the press and all of the rest of them to keep digging into
I know.
it. And as soon as they're done, let California and the lawsuit continue on and be like, hey, we got some more news. You guys want to see some more stuff that's going behind the scenes? And Bobby's going to sit there going, just please, somebody stop them. Just stop putting my name in the news. Just quit. Just quit. Walk out. Take all the garbage with you, too, when you go out.
Yeah.
So.
Let's talk about some other stuff. I would say
That-
some
that's
less
all
depressing
the-
stuff, but there's like one or two where I'm like, wait, maybe this isn't great either. Like, I didn't see this one before we started, but I was scanning through my articles just a second ago, which is why I kind of was like confused for a second, because I was reading the one about Epic Games and Harmonix, which is the developer of Rock Band. Y'all remember that? It came with all the plastic stuff. Epic Games is acquiring them to create musical journeys and gameplay for Fortnite. At first, I read the header where it's like, okay, they're gonna buy Harmonix. Cool. No, not to make more rock bands, but to make content for Fortnite. What's Fortnite doing? Like,
Oh my god. I don't understand. Like, please stop with the fucking Fortnite already.
they
Like, I
can't.
get it, it's a
Fortnite
big
is
franchise,
Epic's
it's-
Call of Duty.
They
Okay.
are trying so hard to keep it alive.
Yeah, they are.
So hard. And maybe it is still somewhat there, but it's nowhere near. Like, they're trying to make it the next big MMO. I mean, if they had a big enough server, yeah, you could try to evolve Fortnite into some giant MMO sandbox game that you do live performances in with a huge live active user base, but you're a BR. What the fuck are you doing concerts and random shit like that? Like, you're having a pure identity crisis.
Yeah.
Like, you started
They're
off as a
doing
survival crafting
everything they
game.
can to stay relevant.
They're trying. That's why they pick up every big name that they can, and oh my goodness.
Okay, so do you think Fortnite's getting different modes? And this one will be basically like a rhythm game mode to go along with all of their concert stuff that they have all of the time? Like, Ariana Grande is promoting in-game right now. Like, she's got a skin and everything. So, I guess it's going to go along with all of these artists they keep picking up.
Like, I'm curious, like, how do they do concerts? I've never even looked at their game. Like, whenever they have these giant concert venue
I'm pretty sure
things,
it's a big field and like, PvP's disabled and everybody's just hanging out watching the performer on stage and jumping around and emoting.
It's been previously mocapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're basically watching a music video with all of your friends in-game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, that would be good if they were going with, like, an RP style of MMO.
Yeah, but you're
again,
VR, so what's...
Yeah, you're a BR. What are you doing? Because first of all, if I could build a house in an MMO where it's a casual game, and, you know, you jump into PvP where that's a separate thing, and then you have concerts come to the towns, and, like, you could actually do something with Fortnite in an MMO world, but right now you're still working under the BR identity, and it's just
maybe we'll have a better idea because Chapter 2 of Fortnite ends December 4th.
Isn't it Chapter 2, Season 3, Episode 4 or some shit like that?
I don't know. Like, all I know is Chapter 2 ends on December the 4th. So they'll have whatever their next map is and all that stuff. And so maybe it'll give us a better idea of what they're trying to do with the game and moving forward. Maybe they're giving another option besides just the BR side of it. But
It's weird.
I don't know. I really don't. Like, I can't figure out what they're doing. Maybe it's going to be like you can log into the BR version of it, or they have like a Guitar Hero version that you can go over the other side and play.
Do you
for
have
the
to
people
have
that are
the
over
guitar
the VR.
controller to play the music part of it, and then can you use the guitar controller to play the shooter side? I mean,
I'm sure somebody has. I bet you go to
just
YouTube
give
and
you
somebody
a
did.
Guitar, and you have to do like the rhythm thing with the buttons, and it fires out things.
You're actually playing the dubstep gun from Saints Row, is what it is. I see. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
That one just, I was like, my brain was cruising along the news, and that was like a speed bump into a ravine. I don't know what happened.
Epic doesn't either, to be fair. Wait, maybe they're building the shopping cart.
Oh no.
Hey.
Is that a thing?
Look, man.
Maybe it's a rhythm shopping cart.
You have to play a rhythm game in order to be able to put a second item in. Else you have to just check out them one at a time like now. You know.
Oh, God damn it, I'm bad at this. Oh, well. I'll just buy one game at a time.
It's fun to make fun of Epic sometimes, man.
Sometimes.
I guess you could lead that into the Microsoft thing as just an article that you could put in there for fun, because we talked about how one time Microsoft wanted to buy Nintendo, and Nintendo's like, oh wait, you're serious. Yeah.
We talked about that a little while ago.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the Microsoft side of it, where they're like, yeah, it was a bad plan. It's not a good time. We were dumb. We'll never do that again.
Holy shit. First of all, I didn't realize that first article that we talked about was in January.
Which one?
It felt when it came to light that they tried to buy, it was in January of this year.
It feels like
it's been
so long.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that long ago. But this is the other side. Like, Microsoft revealed their letter side of it, and they were just like, yeah, you know, it really sucked to go to a business proposal and get laughed at for 30 minutes. We're not doing that again. Like, I get it. It's rough. They tried again, though. A year later, they were like, all right, you guys make really, really, really good software. How about if you just let us focus on the hardware and you guys make all the games? And they actually had a meeting on that, but nothing came of it. So that one was at least a little bit more equal, which I'm glad that they didn't, because we wouldn't have the Wii and the Wii U and the Switch and things like that, because Nintendo would have just, and I think they're the most important to the console, because they're the ones that literally just go from a computer into a handheld design and a console design. Like, they're pushing the envelope, to say the least.
I like that the pitch for that purchase was, listen now, your hardware sucks. So why don't you let us make the hardware and you just make the games? Like, yeah, okay. I can't imagine why this did not work out for you. I have no idea. This pitch seems perfect to me. Definitely telling somebody that their product sucks is a great way
But
to
it was
open
Microsoft going, hey,
open
your
talk.
stuff sucks compared to the Sony. So how about if you just leave that to us? And they're like, what you got? What you saying here? And it just didn't work out.
Do you think part of that conversation actually moving to a meeting was curiosity? They're like,
Yes.
the Nintendo side of it going, you think they'll actually say that to us in person? Let's just go see what they say.
Well, keep in mind too, this is before the Xbox came out. They were working on the Xbox when they went in to do this, because we get 2001 was the actual release of it,
Which is also kind of
and
rich.
So I'm looking at this right now. You've got the Dreamcast that was released in '99, PlayStation 2 was in 2000, Xbox was in 2001. Let's see, you ended up with. It looks like we still had the Nintendo 64 at the time, and eventually we ended up with the GameCube shortly after that.
Because they were working on the GameCube, and
2001.
Microsoft knew about that they were working on it and knew it wasn't going to be as powerful as the Xbox, and we're like, hey. But they were so close to their GameCube, they're like, we'll just commit to ours, and we'll see where we go from there. Which, to be fair, at least 20 years later, everybody's kind of in this bubble where they work together a lot more, but it's taken 2 decades for everybody to get over themselves.
Like, everybody had to grow up a little bit, all right?
Fair enough.
It's gotta take some time
to be fair,
mature.
Nintendo is the oldest out of everybody. They're like 200 years old.
Well, the thing is too, like, I'm looking at the years that are on here. So Nintendo, the 2001 was the GameCube. 5 years later is when we got the Wii.
Yeah.
Which is the most innovative of the technology.
Yes, by far.
Like technology jump. So maybe they took it to heart, because they were like, within 5 years they were like, oh, we'll show you what hardware looks like, bitch.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft and Sony are sitting there going, we're going to make our consoles even stronger, and Nintendo's like, we're going to make our console even better.
Yeah, then they did the motion control, and Microsoft went, I bet we could do that. Let's make it with a camera, though, and make it so that camera is garbage and doesn't work half the time. Cool. We'll show them what for.
Fine.
Like, you know how crazy that is? Like, they had to build this giant, chunky camera thing to put up there, and Nintendo's like, we have a controller, and it works just as, like, a pure extension of your arm.
Yeah, but Microsoft's like, people don't want controllers. They want it to be completely
you still had a bar about this long.
Yeah, you had the sensor bar.
But it was this big.
Yeah. It was a sensor bar that I literally couldn't find for a week when I was putting my Nintendo stuff up, because it was on top of the TV and it blended in. Yeah.
Like, that just shows how far ahead Nintendo was with their technology. Like, their little sensor bar, this little plastic thing you set there, and Microsoft's giant chunky man camera.
I wouldn't even compare it with the Kinect, though. I would compare it with the freaking PlayStation Move controllers.
Yeah.
That are horrible. They're still bad. Like, they still make them, and they've got the big bulbs on top of them, and you look like you're at a Disney park, and like they might as well spin and have like bubbles come out of them or something.
You're either at a Disney park or a K-pop concert.
I mean, I like the Vive controllers. They feel good. Like,
those are
they actually feel good.
But
so
yeah, it's rich to me that Microsoft's like, your hardware is Gerbo. They hadn't put out their hardware yet. And then Nintendo's like, cool, 5 years later, let us innovate the shit out of this for you. And Microsoft took that idea. So let's make it into a camera. Microsoft, what are you doing? Looking back on our past is fun sometimes.
Yeah, and I like that Microsoft was all like haha jokes about, and they're like, hey, here's our side of it. We get that and we're glad that it didn't work out. We're better off being separate companies, more competition, more innovation and things like that. It's like, cool, we can all laugh about it now. It's all good.
Yeah.
I would hate to have been the people to be in Nintendo's office getting laughed at for 30 minutes though. I'm sure that still sticks with them. Every time someone brings up Nintendo, I'll be like, yeah, that's still a sore spot, please.
Well, I think Microsoft is sharing a lot of this stuff because of their anniversary. And also in the vein of their anniversary, remember how we talked about when the Infinite multiplayer was coming out? Yeah, it's in beta right now. You can play it. As Oak mentioned, he played some of it and everything. But it's not going super great right now.
Nope.
I mean, it's in beta, which I guess is what some of this is for, is to be able to catch these things. But there are some very industrious hackers out there that are doing wall hacks and aimbots and all of this stuff to the point that, like, console players are asking for them to disable the crossplay right now with PC. And I can't blame them. I mean, that's not cool. It's way easier to install a wall hack on the PC version of it and play it from there.
Oh,
or your
yes.
aimbot and
Oh, yeah.
everything versus your console. So yeah, like re-separate this until you can fix your PC side, because your console side's probably not struggling as badly.
PC players are used to this kind of treatment, so we're all good. Like, we get it. Trust me, it happens. We figured that people would have proper security by now, but we get it. It's a beta.
That
Okay.
shit happens even on Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I do think that it was a little telling how quickly it emerged. Like, it took less than a week for that multiplayer to be out, and there already be cheaters in it.
And we watched one too, like,
Yeah,
'cause
we
were
did.
watching a streamer, and he was like, there's no way this motherfucker is cheating. And he went back and watched the whole thing from the guy's perspective.
The
Oh
guy
my
that was
God.
actually playing it was, like, arguably terrible. Like, thank God it wasn't actually him well, I mean, not thank God, it's terrible. This is the kind of caliber of player that uses that stuff, because he obviously had no idea how to play the game anyway. But the aimbot was doing things for him, and he had a wall hack installed so he could follow people through walls too. And it was like, you made that really obvious, buddy. Really obvious.
Watching him try to jump up stuff where he just like jumps and keeps hitting the wall, and then backs up and tries to jump over, and he just keeps hitting it while looking at the dude above him. And it's just so funny.
Oh, it's terrible.
He's so terrible. Like, so terrible. And he's using hacks and things like that. And it's like,
And here's the thing here's about it. I don't condone anyone using any type of thing like this. But here's the thing. If you're going to use this, learn to play the fucking game first.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, turn around and go, okay, here's this, here's that, da-da-da-da-da, right? Now when people see you play, at least you look like you know what you're talking about. Instead of can't even jump on a wall. I mean, come
Can't
on,
even
man.
like, oh my God, it was hilarious.
But not, I mean,
Like,
but it's
because
also
here's the thing. If Dr. Disrespect did this, who's a good gamer, or Tim the Tap Man or somebody like that did this, it would be one of those where people could believe that they're as good as they're seeing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is if you don't even know how to play the damn game and you're able to wreck people like that, it's, come on, man. Like, just come on. Stupid. I don't get it.
Even
But
though
I think they'll
people
fix it.
that are good, that you can, if you watch closely enough, most of the time you can still pick up on if they are using things like that.
Yes. But
Yes.
you have to make sure that you watch them, and you watch. For this guy, it was terrible. He was shooting at one person, and they fell behind the wall, and you just see his fucking cursor snap to the person who just came out from the other wall.
Yeah.
It's like, that's pretty fucking obvious, because it literally snapped in like a half second. It was
Not
like,
to mention he shot at the wall where the
Yep.
person was sitting at
Yup.
one point.
Oh my God, it was terrible. Ugh.
I don't know. A lot of people are saying there should be an option to turn off crossplay if you don't want to have crossplay, but at that point, like, do you weigh how many people are using it versus how many aren't and decide whether or not there is a future of crossplay? Because
I mean, Rare already offers you the option to crossplay. Like, pretty much every game offers you the option to crossplay these days. Like,
Yeah,
that's
they
all
do.
we ever ask for, is just be like, give us the option. If PC players just want to play with PC players, fine. If console wants to play with console, fine. If you don't fucking care, fine.
I mean,
Like, just give us the option.
yeah, it seems like there should be a way to turn it off. I know ideally you don't want to turn it off so you have a bigger player pool, so you're not looking at long wait times on unpopular, play maps and things like that, but at the same time, like, you are still in a situation where, one, it's easier to cheat on PC, even if you do have anti-cheat, which apparently right now you're not catching a lot of it. But it's also mouse and keyboard versus controller, and even if you have aim assist with controller, I feel like there's still a little bit of an edge to mouse and keyboard, so it's almost like you're given a little bit of an advantage if you're good with mouse and keyboard. If you put me on Halo and with a mouse and keyboard, you be fine. You be living, don't worry. But people who are used to it may have a bit of an advantage over somebody that is using a controller, even with the aim assist.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be nice if you felt like you were being disadvantaged in that you could turn it off if you wanted to.
Well, it depends on whether they fixed the problem they had with the MCC or not. One of the problems they had with MCC is it was optimized for controller.
Yeah.
So it was
way
where
easier to
there was
play
a
with
slight
that.
delay or something. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever did fix that or not. To be honest, we haven't
I think they
gone
did
back
fix it
to it.
eventually.
since that was an issue. That's just how much we're playing Halo these days. But we just don't play multiplayer as much because you do run into so many, like, issues at times. Plus, you know, nobody wants to play with me in a multiplayer game. I did that to myself. I can't help it. I don't know. I mean, it's my fault. My bad.
Oh, what are you talking about? We play lots of multiplayer games.
We don't play competitive multiplayer games or, you know, things like that. We play cooperative games, not competitive games.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I
Griff
don't know
is
what
too
you're talking about.
competitive.
We compete in Phasma all the time.
Competitive Phasmo, that would be weird. Wild.
I run
We'd
the
be-
ghost to you.
We'd be at a disadvantage with 2 van mains, though.
Yes.
It would be interesting though if they could make it where the ghost is somehow like played by an actual player.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, it would,
That's
but
been
it
brought
wouldn't
up
because
a
if you
lot.
let that be a player, the player wants to win, so they're not going to give you all of the evidence and stuff.
Well, maybe they don't have a choice. Like you can set the game up to where you don't have much of a choice on that.
I'm very, very sure that we will never see a co-op multiplayer style of that game.
Well, not
It's
from
not
Phasmo,
in-
but maybe from another.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's-
it'd be hard because you'd have to have the ghost confined to specific hunt times. So you'd have times where that ghost player is just standing around doing literally nothing, and things like that. It would be hard to make that into an asymmetrical.
I
since
tell you
don't
what they
have
could do
constant
that would be
uptime.
neat though, and I know this is completely off subject, but I'm saying it anyway.
We're already off subject,
Which
fine.
is, yeah, what would be cool if they did it to where when you got done playing, the ghost was recording the entire time, so you could see what the ghost saw while you had been playing. Does that make sense?
So, like, you
could go
look
back
at it and
through-
you're like, oh no, the ghost was staring at me for 5 straight minutes in the
Right.
kitchen. Weird. That ghost was right behind you the whole time. Way to make me never want to sleep again. Thanks.
I mean, thinking about it, I would like a graph, like a time graph, to where it would show you the activity and like different lines or points to win. Is basically be like ghost event, and then you'd have to see a little ghost event, then drop down more another ghost event. Like you could plot out when ghost events or interactions or hunts, and you could actually like see it.
See how active it
I think that would be. Like, I would find that kind of information really interesting because you would figure out what it is and then see how it interacts. Like, how much interactions,
Look,
how
man,
frequently
you have a Discord you can talk to that
interacted.
guy on. You go right ahead.
Like, more information. Like,
Drop your
I think
suggestion.
that'd be cool.
We have just like a handful of things left. Let's talk about the Nintendo World thing if you want to, and then we can talk about the other two because they're same company. Well,
Good thing
If you
I'm
were-
waiting. Good thing I'm waiting to go to the Nintendo World.
yeah.
If you remember a couple months ago, there was a problem on the Yoshi ride. It was the same damn ride.
Bach is
There
never
was a
gonna get
problem
on
the
this
Yoshi
thing.
ride where the Goomba statue that was like 5 Goombas tall had just kind of, this big concrete thing had just kind of blown over. Well, now it's caught on fire.
Not the same
So-
Goomba thing.
No, but the
ride
actual ride itself
Yeah.
caught on fire back in November 23rd. So there's that. So if you are planning on going to the going to that in Japan, it might be I'd wait until after Donkey Kong Land is open and
See if
wait
that's better.
until things stop catching on fire. That might be a good thing right there.
All I have to say to that is fuck Yoshi.
Yeah.
Maybe
we
he
get it
set
back,
it on fire. Now we know.
It was to be fair, it was a fire that broke out in the ceiling of the ride, which is terrifying. But it was after hours, nobody was on it, so at least there's that. Nobody. It was not a
Nice.
dangerous thing. I mean, it's dangerous, obviously, but
This time.
people were not
This time.
immediately in danger there. Trying to figure out how to put this in the right context. So hopefully they'll get that fixed, and you know. Oh. Okay. Now I'm gonna be sad for a minute. So let's talk about BioWare. One,
All right, Bioware.
Amazon is looking at well, they're nearing a deal, quote unquote, for a Mass Effect TV series. As a Mass Effect fan, I do not want this. And I'm
I'm okay
sorry
with
if
it.
I'm in the minority here, but I do not want this. I guess if you want to do this, you need to take it away from the main, like, core of the original trilogy. If you want to do that, like, sure, let's go to, what was the Asari homeworld, Thessia, and cover that, the early Asari, or go all the way back to Protheans, and let's talk about, you know, their life and everything. But I don't want you to cover Commander Shepard, please.
I mean, you don't have to. You could do what I was telling earlier about the game, where you do another universe in which was killed by the Reapers. You could do a season of that, where it just kind of fills in a gap of, it's a short one and done story where there is a beginning and an actual end.
Yep.
The Reapers blow up the universe. You get attached to the people. You get to see their universe. You get to see the war, and then they destroy the universe. Cool. You get a little bit more backstory. Your short investment. It's like, and it's completely separate from the Mass Effect universe characters that we know.
Yeah.
They
Boom. There you
could. I mean, they could, or they could do the ones that they currently have. The difference, the main thing is, it's set in a TV series is what they're looking at, which is the main thing that I'm fine with, because that's kind of the whole idea of it. You didn't have enough time within a 90 minutes to 120 minutes to be able to tell that full story of, let's say, the first game. There's just no way to do that. But if you could do it over, you could do it over multiple seasons, just the first game alone.
Yeah, but I feel like the downside of doing something like that is then you are putting forth a specific, this is canon. These choices from Shepard are the canon, and if you play it differently, that's not really Shepard. This is the story.
Again, multiverse style, where this is cinema canon and that is game canon. Like,
yeah,
it's the same
we're trying
thing with
not to
The Last of Us.
gatekeep the people that are trying to watch the TV version of it.
Exactly. You don't want to be that kind of person who's like, well, actually.
Yeah, but then you're taking a choice game and being like, these are the right choices. Here's the actual answers, everybody, for the test. Don't worry. Got
Not
you.
necessarily. I think that it's just a different, it's just a different medium. So there's no choices in that medium. So therefore they can go with whatever they want to on it. And maybe some of those choices aren't even available to them on the TV versions versus what you would have in the game. I think the main thing is it's got to be done right, which Amazon does a really good job with their TV shows. So, and they put a lot of money into their television shows. So it's a possibility that you get a good product. I know that HBO is currently working on The Last of Us. The footage that I've seen from it so far, like the shots and stuff they've seen, it looks really close to the real game. I'm interested to see what they have and haven't added to that particular genre or particular TV series as well. But the problem I have with The Last of Us compared to Mass Effect, I think Mass Effect has a big universe, where with Last of Us, I feel like you're kind of boxed into one storyline unless they're going to branch off from whatever season they create. But I mean, I think that you could start off with the Shepard storyline and move to whatever you wanted to afterwards with Mass Effect, where I don't see you really being able to do anything like that with Last of Us. So.
You could move to whatever you wanted to based on which ending you picked, because there's nothing, there's one option for ending that there would be nothing left. So, depending on how you ended it. I feel like with that, there's so many other stories that you could tell, or so many interesting characters that you could follow up to a point, prior to the games and things like that. Like, that would be fun to see and neat.
That's why I think
world building.
If you're going to change the medium of games, then you have to do an original story, in my opinion. Like, you've got to do something.
I don't mind tie-ins.
That's separate. You can tie it in, but it has to be separate. You cannot take what people already know and transfer it into a different medium and reset the canon or reboot or remake or whatever you want if you want the fans to be happier with it. Some people are going to be like, I don't care at all. I can separate. It makes no difference to me. This is the game. This is the shows. They are two separate entities. Period.
I wish that was me.
And some people,
I wish it was. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, I did that with Harry
so
Potter. Like, I watched the Harry Potter movies and I read the books, and I separated the two of them. It took me a minute to do it, but I did it.
Yeah, some people just cannot separate the entities. And
Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay. I'm not going to say that you have the higher ground on this one, but
I mean, with Mass Effect specifically, that is such a big, huge place, and there's so many things that happened prior to the start of Mass Effect 1 that would be super cool to cover. Like, I mean, imagine covering First Contact Wars. That was, Turians show up out of nowhere to go to war with the humans because we don't know what the fuck we're doing, and we just got space technology, basically, and all this stuff. We're basically the space babies, being space babies. Let's settle that out and see how that goes. Let's watch the Krogan genophage happen where the Turians turn on them and the Solarians and they, besties and everything. Let's see that. That's cool. I have so many things that I would love to see, but I mean, I think it would be cool to show it. But I have a feeling that they're going to be like, Shepard's what makes us money.
I mean, that sounds very similar to another TV series that's happening that happens to do with a space soldier.
Oh, Halo? Sorry, I was
Master
like, what?
Chief is what makes us money. We're going to run him into the ground as long as we possibly can. He's going to be 180 years old.
If they
but he
show
can
me
still...
Man Master Chief, I'm out.
I believe it's a prequel. I don't think it's based on the original. I think it's going to be based. Yeah, I think it's based on some of the books.
Give me the show that leads him up into the cryogenic thing that we see him at the end of Reach. Like, give me that little bit of backstory before that point.
When they reach that point, then it's basically over.
Well,
for the series.
It'd be the same with a lot of stuff that's prequel-y, though. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with things ending, too. Like, people want to look at stuff and go, I need another season, I need another season, I need another season. But it's okay for things to wrap up eventually and have, like, a definite, this is where this ends because this is where this other thing begins, or things like that. Like,
that's the most dangerous thing out there, is that shows run themselves into the ground, or they flounder at the wrap-up and turn terrible. There are a couple of shows that were... There is a show specifically that was absolutely incredible. It was every part of media that could imagine, and then they just fell off the cliff and fucked up the ending, and now it's completely irrelevant in every aspect. It went from the highest highs to the lowest lows.
or stuff that just feels the need to continue on forever. Like The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Which I think is still getting another season. Like,
nope, it's ending. It's got like 2 episodes left.
Okay. Cool.
But it's about 2 seasons too long.
Yeah.
Or 4.
Or 4 seasons
Several.
too long. The choices made in that show
But I
were
mean,
4, and it ended up in the death of it.
It's okay for things to have endings indefinite. Like, doing a prequel would give you that luxury, really, where it's, we know where this goes, so we have this long, this many things that we need to tell you from start to finish, and if you want to see what happens after that, then there's this other media that you can check out if you want to.
I think that's what the main thing is if you're going to do a lead up, you have a clue of where you're going to, right?
Yes.
However much you're going to actually end up doing, you've got a point of, this is our last thing that we're going to end up doing, right? I think that's what made Rogue One really good as a Star Wars movie, because of the fact that it knew where it ended. Mm-hmm. It knew exactly what it was leading up to, which was the original Star Wars trilogy. And so it allowed for them to be able to build and do what they needed to for it. And then, but I think part of the problems Game of Thrones ran into is because there was no ending. There was absolutely no, and there's 2 books that haven't been written yet.
Yeah.
And so like nobody knew where to end it.
Yeah, but you gotta, the guys that were writing it pushed that gas pedal a little too hard and just like crashed into the ending. And
part of that's because you had an entire cast that said, we're done, this is our last season, so you had to do what you had to do.
Yeah, but HBO's like, we'll give you all the money in the world, just make it good. And they're like, we don't need all of that, we want to go do Star Wars now. And then after they crash and burn, they got kicked from Star Wars. Take your time, know what you want beginning to end. That is why the first trilogy of Halo is so incredible, because it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and the rest of the Halos are just okay because it feels like
you don't know where you're going with it, or they don't know where they're going with it.
At the end of the game, they're like, and the next game. It's like, but where's my ending?
Well,
where's my finality to this?
Yeah, but it's because they didn't know where they were going. That's why they had 4, and they were like, "Oh, this is
Yeah,
not
they knew
working
where
out
they were
with."
going into a comic book. That's
They
where
did
they're
not know
going.
that.
And,
I think that was like a fucking afterthought because they were like, "We're gonna swap it up because it didn't work out the way we wanted it to." So,
and eventually,
Which is sad
go
because
into
the plot line,
can.
if they led that plot line into where it needed to go, those characters they had built were great. Those
Yeah, I
books
was
are
right.
fantastic.
At the end of Halo 4, I was like, all right, I am ready to go into this next trilogy. And then when they started showing off Halo 5, I'm like,
what happened?
what does this have to do with any of that shit? And then come to find out that they wrapped up the whole Halo 4 storyline in a comic book, and it's like,
And then
ooh.
Infinite, and then weirdly, Infinite takes place right after 5, and so it's like,
Whatever is after Infinite will take place after 4 or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. We got a few more days for that one. So we'll see.
Yes.
We got a couple more things to talk about. Dragon Age senior creative director is leaving BioWare.
Let me
I'm
tell
gonna let
you.
Griff talk about this one because this is right up her alley.
Let me tell you how much confidence I have in Dragon Age 4 at this point. It's so small. So small.
Is it 0?
You're losing somebody in the middle of a project. Well, theoretically close to the end of a project because theoretically this game will be launching in the next year or two. So you should be nearing the end of the project, but you've got like one of your big dogs that have been there since 1998 with the company, and he's like, yeah, there's not really a reason that was given for him leaving, but it was mutually agreed that they were gonna part ways, him and the studio. So
that kind of tells me that he wanted to go a certain direction, and the company wouldn't let him.
Yeah. I just, they wanted different things creatively, I guess, is where that's going to go to. But it never
AAA
bodes
development
well.
is just so rough these days.
Well, it never bodes well if one of your creative leads leaves during the production of a game. It'd be different if he was leaving, post-launch, or if he had left at the start of this project, starting up and everything. But you're somewhere in the process, which hopefully is getting close to being wrapped up, and he's like, nah, I can't. I gotta go. I just can't hold on anymore for you. This is not what I want. I'm out. Bye. So I'm thinking, as much as I love the Dragon Age series, I'm thinking 4 is gonna be...
It's going to be like Far Cry 6 where you
it's the
wait
death knell
and
for
see.
BioWare. Like, this is going to be their final gasp, essentially. After Andromeda's not great thing. I know they've announced a new Mass Effect, but I imagine that right now that's still concept, early conception, things like that. I don't know if we're going to get to that.
I feel like they're following the same route as Halo, where 4 was like, and then they just U-turn it or 90 degree off to the side and go in a different route, and Mass Effect whatever is going to be something entirely different somewhere else that just tries to leave the baggage that is the rest behind.
Yeah. EA's
And then
Undertaker
it's
is
gonna
currently out back digging a hole next to like Visceral and everybody else they've killed, just waiting.
BioWare's like, please don't do it. Please don't do it. This game better do well, or else you're gonna find your spot back there. With
I
the rest
hate
of
to
them.
joke about that, especially while I'm playing through Origins and remembering how good it is, and how wonderful the story is and everything, and how good at telling stories BioWare used to be. Playing Mass Effect, right alongside this one is just, they used to be so good at it. And then things, I guess.
It's because they used to write a really good story and then build a game around it. Now they're trying to build a game and put a story in it.
Yeah, they're forcing the art, essentially.
Exactly, and it doesn't work. Like, I don't know if they've just lost their creative people.
Well, part of it, too, is
Their
you've got
people.
EA standing over them going, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Because that's what happened with Andromeda, is you just know there was an EA exec over the shoulder of the creative director going, is done yet? Is done yet? Is done yet? That looks okay. Is it done yet? I know you don't really know Frostbite that well, and we're not giving you the IT people for it. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Till finally they're like, yes, take it. We just take it. You've already set a launch date for it, and you won't let us move it again, so just take it. And then everybody's
feel
like, it's terrible.
but I mean, I feel like a lot of this falls on BioWare more than it does anybody else. Because at the end of the day, they have to have respect for their own product. They know where their product started, where it belongs. And then if they're not willing to stand up for it at the end, because I can tell you right now, if they fired my ass because I didn't want what they want to do, I'd go straight out. I don't give a shit about an NDA or anything. I'd turn around and go, there was creative differences and they wanted to hurry that. That's exactly what I would say. I would say it as kindly as I possibly could, but fuck them for that shit.
That is exactly what I was thinking too, because I was like, man, if somebody from EA is sitting there on the director of BioWare going, you better get it done. Is it done? I'd be like, back the fuck off. It will be done when it's done, and if you pressure us, then it's going to turn out like shit. Go back to your office, talk to your money people, and stay out of my company.
Go play Andromeda, and you tell me whether or not we should hurry this or not.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know? Go back to the press that we got from Andromeda's launch.
Go play Anthem. See how that's going right now. I mean, Jesus.
Exactly. Like, at some point, the bosses of these companies have to stand up for their people and their game. Like, you cannot constantly be pressured, and if you cannot handle that pressure, then somebody else needs to take the reins.
Well,
because
or there needs to be a come to Jesus meeting between the EA people and the BioWare people, where BioWare's finally look, you saw what happened with Andromeda. You lost so much money on that. Let us not do that again.
Board members and stockholders do not give a fuck about coming to Jesus. All they care about is money.
But that's the money side of it, though. How much money did they lose on Andromeda, and how much did they suffer because of how terrible that game was at launch and all of the problems
how much
that
it fell off? It's how much it fell off once release comes and how much they're steadily losing over time. They would rather go ahead and get it out and rip off the Band-Aid than waste any more time trying to finish the development. They'd be like, well, maybe it's good enough. Like Cyberpunk, let's go ahead and release it. It's garbage. It'll sell, and then eventually it'll do well enough, which is what we have been seeing constantly from games.
It's hard to commit to day one buys these days.
That's why Nintendo has any advantage that they do. And right now, Microsoft has an advantage. Because of the fact that they, even though they have their in-house stuff, Microsoft doesn't pressure. Like if you think about it right now, Rare is working on a second game outside of Sea of Thieves. It was supposed to come out at the beginning of this next year, but they postponed it to like 2024 because it's nowhere close to the development needed to be. And so it's like that type of stuff is important, you know? I mean, somebody could put Spellbound back out there. I'd be happy with that.
Like, I see Microsoft, Sony, and... Yeah, no shit. Scalebound, please. Microsoft, Sony, and... Sony probably puts the most pressure on the publishers to get their shit out, where Microsoft and Nintendo are like, take your time, make it good, whatever. We've got more than enough out there. Our stuff is still selling. People are super happy. The confidence is high. We're good. If you take your time to keep making good stuff, we'll release it. It'll come out good. We'll keep making money. Like the financial department in those companies are like, we're good. We can keep this steady rate of inflow and outflow. We're good. And EA is like, push. Drop it. It's not ready. Drop it anyway. It's gonna be good. I don't care. Drop it anyway. Somebody will buy it. That's $60 in our pocket.
Yeah, if we postpone this, our stocks drop.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh.
People are talking about whether or not this was about harassment in the comments, and it's like, no, this is probably creative direction. Just
EA pushing too hard.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't hold high hopes for that. It will not be a day one purchase for me. As much as I love the Dragon Age series, I have no confidence in their studios to be able to make a quality product after Andromeda. And yeah, I did buy the Mass Effect collection on day one because it was a remaster. The game was already made. They didn't do anything except for pretty it up.
That remaster.
Yeah, it was a remaster, not a remake. So I didn't have to worry about game-breaking bugs and hair floating off of people and people sinking into the floor while I'm talking to them.
Or people walking away from their hair.
To be fair, that doesn't really matter nowadays. Look at GTA. I mean, I'm just saying. That's a remaster and it's completely fucked. So.
Yeah. True. Well,
does that mean you're going to buy the Knights of the Old Republic?
No.
And play that for the first time?
No, it does not. I'm sorry. Star Wars is not my jam.
It's
And
still
in her
a
We
jelly
can't all
jelly
be
story.
perfect.
Oh man. Well, y'all got anything else before I just
Yes,
go
the
cry?
last one.
Did I miss
that
one?
I put. Yes,
Mhm.
the last one. I don't know. Did I link that one or no?
I missed
Yes,
it
you
The
then.
Dragon Ball.
Okay.
I must have
Yes,
skipped one.
the Dragon Ball. When I saw this trailer, I was absolutely,
for?
completely flabbergasted and blown away because I did not expect anything like this from this universe. Okay, first of all, everybody knows that we like to play Friday the 13th, which is an asymmetrical horror game. You play Jason, you go around, you kill everybody as everybody tries to escape. Cool. This is exactly like that, except in the Dragon Ball universe, where somebody plays the bad guy and you play the unpowered people and try to escape from the city from them.
I really wish that I would have seen this article sooner so I could watch the trailer, because now I'm just curious. Also, who thought this would be a good idea?
First of all, I give you lots of credit for somebody being like, we're going to try this. Like, kudos. I enjoy people trying random shit. Now, this is completely, like, people say out of left field. This is completely off of the field. Like, somebody from a different field came in and was like, what about this? And somebody was like, yeah, cool, let's try it. It is a 7v1 asymmetrical horror game set in the Dragon Ball universe, where one person plays the bad guy and you have to try to escape. You could build a time machine, you could use other different methods. You could use the Saiyan pod where you could repair it and get in it and blast off into space, and different methods of escaping.
I wouldn't really call it horror game though. I mean, yes, you're getting chased by a bad guy, but I wouldn't call that horror in this particular case.
I mean, if the end result is someone like Cell or Boo absorbing you and eating you.
I'm watching the trailer. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
It's fine. It's
She just jumped on the
Boo could
spaceship.
turn you
Isn't that
into
gonna kill her?
a cookie.
yeah, like I'm super interested. That's one of those things where it's like question mark, question mark, question mark. I'll try it.
I'd play it. It
Oh,
looks
well,
like there's a
there's
PC
gonna
beta
be
coming
a
out soon,
beta
so why
for
not?
it. There's going to be a beta for it too
Yeah,
Mhm.
for PC.
I am 100% interested in trying it. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, and I'm a huge asymmetrical playstyle fan too. So this game is like check and check. Like,
But why?
are these two supposed to go together? I guess we'll try it.
Why not?
Yeah, it's like, why not?
And like they've only been showing off Cell, but from what I've been looking at, it's also going to have Frieza and Majin Buu in it.
Yeah, like the three main bad guys. It's like, if I had to guess, Frieza's kill will be the one that it makes him explode. Boo will absorb you, and Cell will drain you. And I'm sure there's going to be different ones as they release more. But
Cell's Tell thing like eats him.
yes, and he evolves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he changes forms.
That makes me wonder if Boo will do something similar.
Exactly. Like, he'll change forms too based on who he absorbs.
This will
Like,
be the
I
only
really
Cell
time.
could do the same thing. Not Cell. Frieza could do the same thing actually.
Yeah, like, as he kills people, his power level goes up. He changes forms from the first one to the second to the third to the fourth.
This will be the only time in the
weird
asymmetrical
alien
ones
head.
where I'm like, yeah, let me be the bad guy so that I can run around as Boo going, Boo gonna eat you! Boo gonna eat you!
The only issue I potentially see a problem is as the bad guy, it's still in third person, and that kind of like because one of the clips during the trailer, so someone was hiding behind something and they went flying past, and if you've ever played Xenoverse, as soon as you go past them, you're gonna see where the fuck they are.
It depends if you can move the camera or not. If you're flying through the air and it locks you to looking forward.
Then
so
maybe that's a workaround.
Yeah,
If
so-
not, then that's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be hard to hide.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to fly forward, stop, look around, fly forward, stop, look around, fly. Like, that will help limit the ability of the bad guy to be able to just kind of fly around and instantly find you. So,
This is definitely one of those, like, I don't understand.
I am 100%
things.
jumping into the beta if I can get into it, which I usually, knock on wood, have good luck in getting in betas. So, I'm definitely gonna put my hat in the ring of this one. It's one of those hesitations.
I didn't see anywhere for a link to sign up for it though.
Yeah, I don't think there's a link yet. What's this? What's it called? Dragon Ball. I don't think. No, Dragon Ball: The Breakers.
Friggin'
Which is an
weird,
odd
man.
name.
Friggin'
Yeah,
weird.
I know.
So weird.
I can't. I just can't. Yeah.
Trust me, a lot. Oh, well, there it is. There's the sign up. Sign
Well, it didn't take you long.
There it is.
And he signed up, and he's in.
Right.
That's. I mean.
Doesn't take long.
No.
Just get in.
I mean, I definitely want to get in on this.
For those, it is being released in 2022 sometime. It doesn't say when. So
Question mark.
Question mark.
But it is next year, so they must be pretty close to it being done. Like hide and seek games like this are always interesting. It's fun to see different takes on it. So, we'll see where it goes. If there's not an NDA and I get in, if anybody gets in, they'll definitely have to give us the rundown of how it works.
Right.
But that was the last one I wanted to make sure we covered. And this show is ridiculously long, so I apologize.
Yeah.
And there's only like 400 tabs that we had open. It was all right. It was cool.
It was
Most of that was
11 for
Blizzard,
me,
so.
but apparently it was supposed to be 12 because I didn't see the last one. My bad. Got you.
Well, we do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week on Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. Check out Griff.
At Griff's Lineup.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Make sure you go to Griff's YouTube channel where she's currently playing through Dragon Age Origins. And she's funny, so you can laugh. Haha.
Sometimes it's not
Please,
intentional.
Make sure that you do.
I'm in charge. I'm dying. Not intentional.
She likes to kill things. It's cool.
Things like to kill me too.
I know. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. Chicken's currently playing through Prey, and you said you'll finish it this week, and then you're going to start what?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out the following week. We'll see. I'm debating whether I want to spend the next couple of months playing Star Ocean, or if I just want to do a week of Turok. We'll see how much I want to commit to something.
Fair enough.
The original Turok?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was making sure.
That's what I think too. Every time he says it.
The
Yeah, the
judgment.
original Turok. I own it on Steam. It was like $2.
On a
I
Steam
was like,
sale
I-
at least 4 years
Wait.
ago.
Have you had it over 4 years?
No, which is why I'm probably gonna not be playing it.
You can't play that. That's against the rules, man.
To be
You gotta have
fair,
release
I have owned it for a lot longer than 4 years outside of Steam.
But not from the Steam sale, so it doesn't count. It only
It's
counts from
one
the
of-
day you purchase from the Steam sale.
Damn, I should have bought it at full price. Fuck.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/MDBOaktree. Check me out almost every day of the week, especially now that I'm not sick. Woohoo!
Glad you're feeling better, everybody. That's for everybody.
Right. I am currently playing through Kana, Bridge of Spirits, and enjoying the hell out of that, as well as some Back 4 Blood and some Halo Infinite. So, come hang out. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baka.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.